Welcome to the Over 40 Alpha Podcast with your host, Funk Roberts.
What? Oh, we are live, and welcome to the Over 40 Alpha Podcast. This is episode number 131, and if it sounded like my mouth was muffled, it's because it is. I'm wearing a teeth whitening system that comes from our guest today, who's going to talk about, is your oral health killing your T levels, your health, and your overall well-being? That's right, guys. We need to lean into learning about how our oral health can be harming and decreasing your testosterone levels and your overall health, your overall oral microbiome. And we're going to learn that from Trina Felber, who's a registered nurse turned dental health expert. She's a founder of Primal Life Organics, which, again, if you can see the video, you saw that I had a teeth whitening system, but I also have an entire everything. I have new toothbrush, different toothpaste. It's not even paste, it's powder, and all of these things to help increase and better my oral microbiome so that my hormones are optimized and my overall health is optimized. Trina's story is amazing. Like I said, she's a registered nurse, but she is the founder of Primal Life Organics, and she has all of the knowledge in regards to oral health and the challenges that the conventional wisdom that we hear and we get from ads and what our dentists tell us and what our mothers and fathers told us growing up, that a lot of this stuff is actually harming us, right? And dental health is a topic that no one generally talks about, right? Almost every adult has at least one cavity. I know before I started this process, so, we recorded this podcast episode a couple of weeks ago. I wanted to get the teeth whitening. I wanted to get the new powder. I wanted to get all of the things, my gums, all of these things that Trina sent me in order to see if this stuff is working. And it is definitely working. I can tell you right now that, I've only used this maybe 3 times, and already she's going to explain to you why this is so powerful. Enamel, teeth whitening, etc. But definitely now learning what my oral microbiome is supposed to be, and learning how, what she sent me and her whole mouth therapy can do for us and our hormones. Man, this is something you don't want to miss. And I do 100% prescribe to grabbing all of the things, Real White and all of her other oral hygiene resources that she has, the toothbrush. It's a whole system. Grab the system. It's going to be game changing. And this is not just me. I mean, she's been a guest on David Asprey's Bulletproof Radio. She's been a guest on Ari Whitten's The Energy Blueprint. She's been a guest on the Superhuman Academy, Paleo Magazine, all of the greats in this space. And so it's not just kind of like, oh, I'm just doing this because this is what I think, when it's backed by a lot of other people in this space who understand health, understand hormones, and understand what could be killing us and why our oral system needs to be healthy, because it's connected to our health, and with connections of gum disease, cardiovascular disease, diabetes, etc. Even though with all of these advancements that we have, it's no wonder that our health, overall health in the Western part of the world is dismal. So guys, grab some water, listen up, enjoy this podcast. I've got my mouth makeover happening right now. Literally, it's happening right now. And I do sign off on this, right? You know me, whenever someone sends me something, I try it and I'll tell you, yep, this is working, or you know what? I won't even say anything, actually. I won't even say anything. I'll just let the podcast go. But if I'm signing off on it before the podcast episode, it's time to lean in. So lean in. Enjoy the podcast, and I'll see you on the other side. Welcome to today's podcast, episode number 129, and I'm excited today because we are going to explore the oral health hidden. We're going to explore oral health's hidden impact on your overall health. Say that 10 times. We're going to really dive into oral health, dental health, and the connection it has with our overall health. And I'm excited to bring in Trina Felber, who is a natural dental health expert, and she's going to take us on this journey. and give us all the information we need to find out how we can optimize our oral health so we're not killing our overall health. Welcome, Trina. How are you doing today?
Oh, gosh, Funk. I'm super excited to mouth off with you today. This is a great topic that no one's talking about, so I'm so glad we're going to dive into this.
For sure. First, let's start off with, how does a registered nurse become a natural dental health expert?
Yeah, well, it's quite a journey. I never expected I'd be sitting in this seat. Super excited that I am because it's really opened a lot of doors for me. As a registered nurse, I always knew how important dental health was. As nurses, we do oral care for patients, especially when they can't do it for themselves. I worked a lot of ICUs and different kind of intensive care units where people could not take care of themselves. So oral health was always a big thing that we did. We just, we weren't educated on why oral health needs, it's so important and how it impacts internal health. Had I known that, things might have been a little bit different in my nursing practice. However, I had been making dental products or skincare products for, about 2 or 3 years when my daughter at the age of 2 had a molar come in, and this molar had some sort of defect in it. My husband was brushing her teeth. He noticed something was wrong with the tooth, and he called me over, and I said, let's just take her to the dentist. Took her to the dentist. He took one look at that tooth, and he said, that's a natural cavity. It happened in utero when the tooth was being developed. So he said, we'll put a temporary filling in it since she's just 2. The temporary filling is going to fall out every 2 or 3 months. And every time it falls out, we'll decide, do we put another temporary filling in it or do we just pull the tooth? He said, I fully expect to need to pull that tooth within a year. And so as I was leaving the dentist office, because I know the connection internally, like every tooth is connected via meridians, the meridian channel, like the acupressure channel, to organs, an organ inside the body. And basically when your teeth are being developed, as you're being developed as in utero, a tooth is being developed at the same time as an organ. And so that's that connection. And when you break that connection, it's broken forever. So when he said, we'll just have to pull the tooth, he said, don't worry, Mom. We put a temporary filling in it now. We just hope for the best. And I thought, oh my gosh, there's no way this mom is going to hope for the best. So I went home. I started doing my research about dental health and to see if there's anything I could do to impact the health of that tooth. And I quickly realized that he was absolutely right, that if I didn't do anything, I kept doing what I was doing, we were going to have to pull that tooth within a year. So I started researching. I found Dr. Weston A. Price. He was a dentist in the early 1900s. He discovered the link between sugar and cavities, and he did a lot of research about third world countries and why their dental health was so much better. And I had a bunch of big aha moments and takeaways from him. And so off of his research, I created my oral health products to restore the microbiome inside the mouth, to remineralize the teeth, and to detoxify the tissues. So my dirty mouth tooth powder was born. I now make paste as well, but dirty mouth tooth powder was born. My daughter used it. My kids have all used it. That tooth that was supposed to be pulled within a year lasted, and the full lifespan of the tooth that fell out naturally at the age of 12. And that original temporary filling that was actually supposed to fall out in 2 to 3 months was also still in place. It lasted a full 10 years. Her tooth had remineralized over that filling in order to prevent bacterial growth underneath. That was what was going to be the detrimental health or killer to the tooth. And so I basically saved her tooth and prevented it from being pulled. That's how I got into dental health.
Wow, that's quite a story. And the fact that, your daughter, obviously that was the right decision. If it was me and it was just me, I would say, yeah, whatever, pull the tooth when the tooth gets pulled. I'm missing teeth all over, so it doesn't really matter, but it does matter. And, you mentioned, so how long ago was this? Was this 10 years ago?
So this was back in 2011. So Primal Life was born in 2012. So we've been around for quite a while, 12 years.
Wow. Okay. And Primal Life is like the oral part of not just all the skincare stuff.
It's everything, dental health and skincare, everything. Yeah. We sell everything and deodorant, body care products. Yeah. All natural. Cool. I formulated everything as a nurse. I formulated everything to heal the body, to get your body back to natural and normal.
And how long were you a nurse?
Oh, wow. Back in 1992, I graduated. Okay. So long time. Okay. Yeah. Over 30 years. And then I went I got a master's degree in anesthesia in 2007. Right. So I've got a master's degree in anesthesia. That helped me with my formulation of just knowing how, how things impact the body, how chemicals impact the body versus how natural, ingredients impact the body.
Yeah, because you mentioned something about the oral microbiome. We hear about the gut microbiome. Talk about that. What is the oral microbiome, and how does that kind of affect our mouths and our health? Or if there's a connection between, obviously there must be a connection between the oral microbiome and the gut, but you're going to tell us.
You got it. There is a connection. Actually, that's a great question because so many people have digestive health issues, and if you have a dysbiosis, which is an imbalance in the healthy bacteria in your gut, and you have too much of the wrong type of bacteria, that you end up feeling bloated. You can have constipation and diarrhea and all sorts of things. You also end up with like a leaky gut syndrome, which is where the membrane of your lining, of your intestine, is allowing things that shouldn't get into your body, proteins, chemicals, toxins, into your body that will cause inflammation. And so that leakiness, you have to heal the microbiome inside the gut. This happens a lot of times after antibiotics. So, when you take an antibiotic for 7 days, a lot of people end up with this dysbiosis and they have to either take more probiotics or take probiotics to kind of fix that and rebalance it. It also has to do with diet, and if you're eating a sugar-based diet, if you're eating a lot of, artificial foods and things that are highly processed, you're not going to be getting the right microbiome introduced into your body. So a lot of that has a big play in our health. However, the gut is directly connected to your mouth. And in fact, your mouth is the start of your gut. So it is the same tube. And you think about that, I always say from tongue to tail, that's a tube that actually is outside our body. If you think about it, that airspace or tube, everything inside that tube is actually outside of our body, and only certain things are allowed to be or should be entering our body, which is the nutrients. And that's why your gut breaks things down and the bacteria breaks things down. However, when the bacteria isn't correct and it's not the right type, that's when you end up with all the problems. Inside the mouth, it's no different. It's just a different ecosystem. So in the gut, it's very acidic. The bacteria that lives and thrives in there is meant to be an acidic type of bacteria that will break down food. Inside the mouth, it's meant to be more alkaline. The alkalinity of the mouth is extremely important when you're talking about preventing cavities, or the enamel wear down and gum wear down, the gum tissue. The problem with most of the products on the market is that they're more acidic by nature, or they're causing more acid in the mouth. And by that, I mean like the hydrogen peroxides, the bleaching, the different types of ingredients, the sodium lauryl sulfate in the toothpaste, the triclosan, those types of ingredients, including the artificial sugars and the artificial colors, and then the chemicals that they have to put in to stabilize everything, is creating more acid in the mouth. It's killing off your healthy bacteria, creating an environment where the unhealthy bacteria thrives, and then it's throwing off that balance. And then because your ecosystem in your mouth is not healthy, you're supposed to be feeding and seeding your gut with what's in your mouth. So if if what's in your mouth isn't healthy, then what you're swallowing isn't healthy either, and that's seeding your gut bacteria. Most people can't heal their gut fully until they heal their mouth.
So, like the other day I had some berries, and I think I know why this happened, but the day before, I had a cookie, right? I don't eat cookies. I don't eat junk food, but I had a cookie because it was after the UFC. And then the next day I had berries, and my mouth was so sore and it hurt, and like even chewing, it just hurt. It felt very acidic. It felt very acidic. Was that a reason why? Is it because I had the sugar and then maybe the berries, and just maybe the berries kind of just was like a I don't know, it just kicked off all the crap that was going on in my mouth?
It could. What's really important is to make sure that the products that you're using are supporting an alkaline oral health. mouthwash is notorious for killing off all bacteria. Most mouthwashes are alcohol based and they have peroxide and some other ingredients in there that's going to kill off not just the unhealthy bacteria, but the healthy bacteria. Here's a couple things that most people don't realize. I don't know if you've ever talked about nitric oxide on your podcast. Yeah. Have you talked about nitric oxide and the importance for health?
Yeah. Talk. You go for it.
Yeah. So what most people don't realize is that there's two pathways that you create nitric oxide. And let me just give, for anybody that didn't hear the podcast or needs a refresher, nitric oxide is the vasodilator, which basically means it creates increased blood flow. So when we talk about that, there's a couple things that come to mind really quickly. Heart health. If you are having chest pain, one of the things that we will do in the medical center is give you, nitric, nitrics, to increase the dilation of your blood vessels, to increase blood flow, increase oxygen so that you don't have that chest pain. The other place that it's extremely important is especially for men, for sexual health. You think about what's happening down there and, more blood flow, better results. So erectile dysfunction is directly related to nitric oxide production. The problem with most dental products on the market is because they're killing off healthy bacteria inside the mouth. One of the pathways that you produce your own nitric oxide is inside the mouth. So one pathway is enzymatic inside the body. That makes about 50% of your nitric oxide. The other pathway is in your mouth. Your saliva and your healthy bacteria, you have to have healthy bacteria inside the mouth to break down the nitrites in your food. And I'm talking about nitrites from vegetables and fruits and things like that. I'm not talking about hot dogs and bacon. That's not the right type. But when you're eating healthy foods and including some berries, if you're eating that, the healthy bacteria will break down the nitrites into, or the nitrates into nitrites. And then in your gut, you have to have healthy bacteria as well. And that bacteria will convert it to nitric oxide. So if that pathway is cut down because you're using the wrong products and you're destroying your microbiome inside your mouth and your gut is not healthy, you're not producing at least 50% of the nitric oxide that you should be producing. So that impacts heart health. It impacts sexual health. It impacts reproductive health for both men and women. It impacts brain health, immune system, and everything. So that's one of the major problems with dental products on the market right now.
And when you say dental products, what do you mean? Like just toothpaste, mouthwash? Like those are two big things. When you keep saying
Correct.
that?
Yeah. Toothpaste and mouthwash. And one of the main things that you want to look for, like that's why natural products are so much better. They're more friendly to the microbiome typically. They're more friendly. So, you want to look for something that has, that signifies that it's alkaline, because if it's alkaline, the healthy bacteria thrive in an alkaline environment, and actually the alkalinity will kill the unhealthy bacteria. When you think about, some little microorganism living, if it's not in its good environment, it's kind of like cancer. Cancer thrives in an acidic environment, actually creates more acid. When those cancer cells die, they are full of acid. They erupt, creates more acid so that cancer cells can spread. The same type of thing happening inside the mouth. When people have healed themselves from cancer, they switch their diet, they become alkaline. That helps reduce that ability for the cancer to spread. Same thing inside the mouth, switching the environment from being acidic. And some of the things that we eat, like most of the foods that we eat are acidic by nature. So red meat is acidic, coffee, tea, most of our foods, processed foods, are all acidic by nature. Most of the foods, or the foods that are not, would be like your vegetables and sometimes the fruits. Sugar also feeds the bacteria. So if you have the unhealthy bacteria inside your mouth and you're eating a lot of sugar, that's going to just feed the bacteria. The bacteria is then going to also create a lot of acid inside the mouth. And then that overgrowth prevents the healthy bacteria from growing. And then you have that reduction in nitric oxide production, which then impacts overall health in the ways that we had mentioned.
Wow, that's incredible. So we want our mouth to be alkaline based.
Correct.
Like we want it. Okay. And that will, and if we do end up, like I eat red meat, but if my mouth is alkaline, lined with alkaline or alkal. How do I say that? Alkalinic?
So, yeah, if it's alkaline. So one of the ways that your body protects yourself. So like you're saying, you can't not eat red meat. You can't not eat, certain types of foods. So your body automatically has a built-in mechanism, which is your saliva. So when you eat red meat, if you have the right bacteria inside your mouth, it's not going to feed off any of the sugars in your diet, because the healthy bacteria doesn't feed off of sugar, just the unhealthy bacteria. Your saliva, as you're eating, your saliva is going to wash your teeth and wash all of your tissues inside your mouth and help get rid of that bacteria. Your saliva has proteins in it that are antibacterial. They're antimicrobial, so they're going to try and kill that type of the bacteria and the fungus and that type of stuff while you're eating. The problem is our saliva is truly not alkaline. It's more neutral. So when it's when the body is too acidic, when your mouth is too acidic because the products that you're using are wiping out your good bacteria, that's when your saliva can't do the job that it's supposed to do. But if you're keeping your mouth more neutral, more alkaline, allowing the healthy bacteria, you won't suffer from bad breath. You won't have sensitive teeth. Your saliva will be able to function the way that it's supposed to cleanse your mouth and get rid of that bacteria that would cause harm in the first place. Then you're feeding and seeding your gut with healthy bacteria, not that harmful bacteria, and then your gut will recover much faster as well.
That's incredible. Okay, so that is huge, actually, for those who are listening, and for me as well. That like my focus should be alkaline, making this mouth as alkalinic as possible. I'm going to say.
And what that means, like when you're looking for products, that's how I created my products. So I created a dental detox kit. I think we might have sent you one. Did you end up getting?
Yeah, it's going to be delivered today. Like I got,
Perfect.
It will be delivered today. I've been waiting like patiently and impatiently for it, but it's going to be delivered today.
Yeah, you're in Canada, I think, right?
Yeah.
Yes, that's why it took longer. Okay. Yes. No. So my dental detox kit is what I created for people to start and do the transition. I believe that everybody needs to detox their mouth for numerous reasons. Dr. Weston A. Price kind of alluded to that as well in his research. You need to detox the tissues of your mouth. Your mouth, the gum tissue is highly vascular, meaning that there's a lot of blood flow that goes to your gums. That's evident when we're flossing. And if you get, bleeding when you're flossing or brushing, that's an entry or a portal of entry for pathogens to get in the body. And then that's the direct link between oral health and internal health, including heart health and brain health, because the blood flow from your gum tissue goes directly to, it's vascular blood. It's going back to your heart and your lungs to be reoxygenated. And then when it's in your heart, it gets pumped everywhere. Right. So that's why. And the heart is so connected because it goes from your gum tissue back to your lungs, to your heart. And then the bacteria, the plaque buildup in cardiovascular disease is the exact same plaque that builds up on your teeth. That's the connection. So so you can reduce that. You can, prevent that from happening, but you've got to make sure that your gum tissue isn't leaky. Leaky gums is the same thing as leaky gut syndrome. And unfortunately, with high sugar in our diet and the acidity inside the mouth, our gum tissue wears down. It's all fixable. It's all preventable. In fact, on the ADA website, it says cavities and gum disease are 100% preventable. Not 99, not 98, but 100% preventable. It's just that we're using the wrong things. So in dental products, the way that I made my dental products, I took those three things that Dr. Weston A. Price said is very important. They have to be alkaline. So I put baking soda in my dental products. Baking soda is a great ingredient to look for. If your products are natural and they don't contain baking soda, very good chance that they're not alkaline. They have to have minerals in them. So I use a blend of different things to create the mineral blend, because your teeth have a lot of calcium and phosphate in them that's just got a lot of other minerals too. And when you lose something other than calcium and phos, you have to replace it with the exact same mineral. So if you lose a manganese mineral from a tooth, you won't replace that mineral until you have manganese either in your diet or in your dental products, and it has to be alkaline at the time. So that's the big catch. So I use a blend of 3 different clays with nanohydroxyapatite and the baking soda so that it's alkaline. Remember, when your mouth is acidic, minerals leave your teeth. That's the connection. Acid wears away at your enamel. In order to put the minerals back in your teeth and remineralize your teeth, make them thicker, stronger, healthier, you have to have an alkaline environment and the minerals present. So that's what my Dirty Mouth dental products do. That's what the dental detox kit does. And then the third piece of it is detoxing the tissues. Your tissues of your mouth are filthy. They're exposed to pollution and all sorts of contaminants in food and water and things like that. So by using a clay-based dental product, that's why I love the clay, it's going to help pull those toxins out of your tissues of your mouth. And that cleansing of that tissue is going to make your vascular system so much cleaner. Your tissues will be cleaner and be able to heal faster. So that's that connection internally. And then looking for products that are healthy. They have to be alkaline. They have to have minerals in them, and they have to detox the tissue.
Okay, so alkaline, minerals, and detox the tissue. Here's the thing. I didn't hear fluoride in there.
I know. No, there's none.
Okay, let's talk about that. Because I know the effects fluoride has on our testosterone and hormones and health even, like we don't drink, well, you're not supposed to drink tap water, and depending on where you live in the world, some tap waters is worse than others. With fluoride and other things in it. Is there fluoride in your paste?
No, we don't add any fluoride. There's no fluoride added to my products. And I discourage fluoride use. I've never used it on my kids. Other than when I was growing up, when, of course, my parents didn't know better, I had fluoride. And truly, fluoride it's not supposed to be in your body. Babies are born with fluoride in their body because mom had fluoride in her body. They weren't born because it's meant to be in your body. So fluoride has a lot of health impact that's negative. And they haven't even proven, they actually proved that fluoride doesn't work to remineralize the teeth, doesn't work to strengthen the teeth.
Right.
They just buried the research that showed that. They didn't want everybody to actually realize that, it doesn't really work. But fluoride, like you're talking about, fluoride in toothpaste, and sometimes it's in the dental rinses or the mouthwashes as well.
Yeah.
Fluoride, first of all, it's a neurotoxin. That's what you hear a lot, is that it's a neurotoxin. What you don't hear a lot is the impact that it has on your sexual health and your reproductive health. And for men, that means that it reduces testosterone. They've done so many studies, and fluoride definitely, it's a hormone disruptor. It disrupts your thyroid. It will disrupt your ability to make healthy sperm. So, for any men that want to have children, it's going to impact your fertility. And the same goes for women. It's a hormone disruptor for both men and women, fertility. And then for women, it also will impact the ability for a healthy baby as well as healthy pregnancy. So it actually impacts a little bit further because women carry the baby. But yes, testosterone levels are directly decreased related to fluoride levels. So, yeah.
So when you go, here's the thing, I've had this conversation with my family members, and, the first thing they go to is Google, right? They're going to Google fluoride. In fact, I have a family member very close who works in the dental, she's a dental assistant. And, so you go to Google, and it's almost impossible to find anything negative about fluoride unless it's on our conversation or, people who are in the know. So how do you relay that message? Because it's every time you turn on the TV, fluoride, dentist, approved.
Dentist recommended. Yeah.
Exactly. Anytime you Google fluoride, it's all the positive things or, what they're telling you that fluoride does. But I know that fluoride's bad, but it's very difficult for me to back that up, me not being a dental health expert, and two, me not, with them going in and Googling or what have you. How do you relay that message? Because if I go to Shoppers Drug Mart right now, which is our local drugstore, or my house right now, right, there's fluoride toothpaste because that's all we got.
Yeah.
Because it's very difficult to find the toothpaste that you just said, minerals, baking soda, and detox.
Yeah.
I'm not going to find that over here. So how do I combat that? Like, what's going on? How do we combat that?
Well, first of all, thank you for helping to get the word out, because it's people like you that are questioning. And that's what we really need to instill in people is you have to question everything. That's why I started my company. That's actually how I started my company. When I had a miscarriage at the age of 40. My husband and I got married. We got pregnant right away and miscarried at week 7. And I started examining everything in my house thinking, we're healthy. You know, I know it could happen, but I'm just going to start looking for better alternatives so that I can clean up everything. And so we, changed our cleaning supplies. This was back in 2007. We changed our cleaning supplies. We got air purifiers, changed our, laundry detergent, all that stuff. It never dawned on me my skincare and my personal care products were polluting and poisoning my body, let alone my children. So that's when I actually started creating my own products. But we have to instill in people, you have to start reading labels. You have to start questioning everything, and you have to ask the right questions. So when you're asking Dr. Google, don't just Google fluoride, ask Google, how does fluoride impact my testosterone level? Then you'll get some studies that show how fluoride will impact your testosterone level, or how does X impact my health or heart health or diabetes or whatever, infertility, whatever you're searching for. Ask better questions. The better that you get at asking more specific questions, the better information, because it's out there. Like you said, you've been saying this stuff. I've been saying this stuff since, 2008. It's out there. You just have to ask the right questions, and you have to start doing your own research and thinking independently. We have to wake up. We can't just, if we wait for the government to tell us something's not good for us, we're already sick with cancer. Like, it's too late by the time the government says, oh, by the way, this ingredient we've been putting in something for 40 years is going to cause cancer. It's too late. It's our responsibility to do that. So that's I'm on a mission to help people open their eyes, realize there's better options, better choices. And while some of these things cost a little bit more out of pocket now, the long-term effects of not having health issues, disease, taking medications, having blood work and tests and procedures by far, that is far more expensive. Plus, you're not enjoying that quality of life. So the impact that you can have on yourself and your family at just making a couple swaps, simple swaps of things that you're doing. I'm not trying to change the way people brush their teeth. I'm just swapping out what you're using every single day.
Okay, yeah, that's phenomenal. And so I'm glad you said that. I'm glad you talked about the fluoride. Guys, start taking a look. I mean, it should be, the connection should be there, because we talk about fluoride being in water and how bad it is. So why would that change if it's in toothpaste? You know what I mean? Like, so that connection should be there. But you also mentioned mouthwash, right? Let's just jump back into mouthwash, because I know mouthwash. I don't use mouthwash, but I know it. There's a connection between mouthwash and, people on the streets, specifically back in the day. Like, I'm 55. So, when I was a teenager, when I was in my 20s, when I was in my 30s, you walk down to certain areas here in Toronto and, they're drinking mouthwash, and they're getting absolutely destroyed and hammered with mouthwash. Talk to me about mouthwash, how that affects our mouth microbiome.
Yeah, well, mouthwash, because it's made, most of them, there's probably 3 or 4% of the mouthwashes on the market. So I hate to make it all inclusive. There's probably a good handful that are actually healthy. They're alkaline. They're not using those harsh ingredients. But most mouthwashes, if you're buying them, it's probably not healthy. They're made with alcohol, like you said, alcohol. And, anytime you're putting alcohol in something, you have to know that you're killing everything. You're sterilizing your mouth. And like we talked about, you need a healthy microbiome. Bacteria is not all bad. You need healthy bacteria in order to actually thrive. And actually, as a human body, we are an ecosystem of bacteria. We literally just walk from place to place to get bacteria from one place to the other. Like, we are an ecosystem of bacteria. And it's when that bacteria becomes unhealthy. So what I tell people about mouthwash, and especially if it's made with, alcohol, peroxide, bleaches, artificial colors and all of those bad things, mouthwash is like taking an antibiotic once or twice a day, which is basically how often people do mouthwash, once or twice a day for life, and expecting to have a healthy microbiome. It's just like taking an antibiotic every single day for life and expecting to have a healthy gut. Does the same thing, wipes out your entire ecosystem. And if you're doing it once a day, your ecosystem doesn't have time to rebuild. It takes a couple days for a healthy microbiome to reestablish. So every time you use mouthwash, you wipe it out, and you continuously do that. You're constantly in a state of not having that healthy bacteria. And again, that's going to affect your nitric oxide production, which again, it has everything to do with mood, has everything to do with sleep and immune system, on top of heart health, brain health, fertility, sexual health, erectile dysfunction, diabetes. All sorts of health complications come when you don't have nitric oxide production in the amount that you need it. So mouthwash is, for me, it's the biggest no-no. It's the easiest thing to remove. What you will find, and I know people are like, oh my gosh, I can't live without my mouthwash. If you stop using mouthwash and stop wiping out your healthy bacteria, you will notice that when you regrow your healthy bacteria, you don't really have bad breath. I don't wake up with morning breath. I do not have bad breath. The only time I get bad breath is when I'm doing a talk for a long time and I'm getting dehydrated and my mouth is getting dehydrated. Other than that, I don't chew gum. I don't need breath mints. What I created as a replacement for mouthwash is what's called gum drops. So they're made from olive oil. And these are, again, if anybody's interested, I can get you the links for the dental detox kit. Yeah, if anybody's interested, the dental detox kit, I can show it here for anybody that's watching any of the video. Yeah. So this is what you sent me. This is what you sent me, right? Yes, this is what we sent you, the dental detox kit. And then I want to talk a little bit about red light therapy as well. But this is the dental detox kit. So this is going to have, this little bottle right here is my gum drops, and it's made with olive oil and 11 essential oils. And basically all you do is put a couple drops, 1, 2, or 3 drops on your finger, and you rub it on your gum tissue. It will freshen your breath, but it is going to support that healthy bacteria. It's going to reduce inflammation, going to increase blood flow, and you're going to see much better results with healthy gums. That will then affect internal health. That's going to reduce that inflammation, going to reduce the leakiness, not allow things to get into your system as easily. And then you'll also get a morning and nighttime tooth powder. I start people on tooth powder as opposed to toothpaste, mainly because the powder is super concentrated. We want to get you on, a good program. I want you feeling your teeth are super strong, super clean. Not that paste can't do that, but powder is paste without the liquid, without the water. We use colloidal silver in our toothpaste, which is different than most companies. But I start people on the tooth powder and the detox kit because it's going to detox more effectively, and you're just going to get a higher concentration. So most people notice a difference, no lie, in less than 3 days. Less than 3 days. Most people notice.
How long does it take? Okay,
doesn't take long. A lot of people notice after 1 or 2 brushings. They're like, "Holy cow, my mouth feels better. My teeth feel strong." I've had people who have lived with sensitive teeth for years and couldn't get rid of it, and 2 or 3 days brushing, their sensitive teeth are gone. So it's all about the ecosystem. It's all about the environment inside the mouth and the minerals being present. So you'll get that. You also get a copper tongue scraper. If you haven't scraped your tongue, you're missing out. No. So the white bacteria living on your tongue is creating more acid. Yeah. So twice, just in the morning, if you do it twice a day, it's great. But just take that copper tongue scraper and just drag it across, and 2 or 3 times, and then rinse it off, and you're good to go. It takes about 10 seconds, if that. And it's going to, your food's going to taste better. Your mouth is going to feel better. You're not going to have as bad a breath, and you're going to have better results. So a copper tongue scraper will last you a lifetime if you take care of it. And that just means wiping it when you're done. You'll get the floss picks, which are made with everything that we do is eco-friendly or as sustainable as possible. So they're made with cornstarch instead of a plastic. It's a cornstarch type of microplastic, and then bamboo string. So it's more sustainable. And then we also give you a bamboo toothbrush that has bristles that are actually made with activated charcoal. They're infused with activated charcoal for added detoxing and cleansing of the tissues of the mouth. So this is a 60-day supply. And so I always recommend cavities and gum disease are contagious. Most people don't realize that. The people that you're surrounded yourself with, your family, especially if you've got kids, or, your partner, you're swapping spit and you don't realize it. So I always tell people, make sure that you get everyone on a kit and get everyone started on a program, because contagious cavities and gum disease are contagious. You'll also get, we always try and throw in a little present. So typically you'll get a detoxing deodorant, one of our deodorants to try as well in the kit. So it's really nice. But I'll get you the links that everyone gets to save.
Yes.
It's like 30% off. And if you buy more kits, you save more money. So I'll get you the links for that.
Yeah, if you're listening to this right now, Trina just went through the whole kit. I will make sure there's a link inside this video. I'll make sure there's a link in the show notes. And then, of course, if you're listening to this and you're in my email list, you're going to get probably 2 or 3 or 4 emails about this kit. Specifically, listen, I know these things work when you put the time into it. Like, I know my mouth is a mess. It's a complete disaster. And it needs love. It needs alkaline. It needs bamboo. Why is a toothbrush bamboo?
So this is something, and this is more for the sustainability of the world. Okay. So plastic toothbrushes, I think, take around 500 years to break down in the waste, So when you think about people replacing their toothbrush every 3 to 6 months, that's a lot of plastic. So bamboo will break down very quickly. I think it's only a couple months in the ecosystem. Yeah. And bamboo is so easy. It's sustainable. It grows super fast. So that's why bamboo, and it actually is so cool to brush with a bamboo toothbrush. It's really nice. Okay. So,
Okay, let me ask you a question. So you mentioned 2 times a day brushing with the powder to start, and then you move to the paste. 2 times a day, meaning morning and night?
So the kit is a 60-day supply. A lot of people, when they're done with this, they reorder the powder. They love the powder. I to this day, even though I make paste, I still use the powder. I love the powder. For people that after they do the kit, they want to do the paste or try the paste, that's fine. Like, you can do the paste anytime you want. Our paste is formulated exactly like the tooth powder. We just use colloidal silver. And the cool thing about colloidal silver is that colloidal silver works by vibration. So it doesn't necessarily have to be in contact with the bacteria to kill it. It can actually work by vibration. For kids, that's great. That's why a lot of moms love our dental products, because kids, don't always brush as good as they could. They chew their toothbrush and that kind of stuff. So, and by the way, we use all food grade clays and food grade ingredients. So while we do say, please spit, if your child does ingest it, it's not going to harm them. There's no chemicals in there at all. So for parents, that's a big, they don't have to worry about that kind of thing. It makes it a little bit easier. So, but yes. And so the tooth powders this whole kit will last for about 60 days. And then whatever, really after you're done with that, you stay on it. You just replace the toothbrush when you need a new toothbrush, the floss picks, the gum drops, and the toothpaste. You can just reorder that. Your tongue scraper should last you. Yeah, and put it on subscription is typically what people do. Yeah. Okay.
Okay, that's great. Now, what about? What I wanted to ask was, how many times a day do you brush?
Twice.
Okay, so it is 2 times a day.
Twice a day. You can brush, like, we actually have little. I do have them right here. We have toothpaste chews. So this is what I do. We have a couple other products, dental products, like on the go type of products that you can use. Yeah. This is a toothpaste chew. So when you're done with that, you can also try these. These are great for travel. They're little tablets. These little tablets. So you take a tablet, you pop it in your mouth, you chew it, and then you just brush. But when I'm on the go, like, I carry these with me all the time. I'll go to the bathroom after I eat or have coffee. I pop this in my mouth, and then I just swish it like it's mouthwash. Yeah. And then spit it out, and then I go. The ingredients are safe. They're the exact same type of ingredients that are in our powders and our paste. So this is a great little travel, get your mouth, especially if you don't carry a toothbrush or don't want to carry a toothbrush, or that's just This is what I do. It's super easy. I just pop it in my mouth, chew it, use it like it's mouthwash, spit it out, and it works.
I like that because if you're, this year I'm doing a lot of traveling and speaking and speaking engagements. And, like when you're talking, like you said, for a long time, you're meeting people. I'm a meet the people type speaker. So like even before I start my talk, I go out into the crowd and, if it's 1,000 people, I'm not going to say hi to 1,000 people, but if it's 100, 200, 300, everyone's getting a what up, what's your name? So after your talk and then all of that stuff. So those would be really great. Now I want to just bounce. Listen, I'm going to need to have you on again because we didn't even go into dry mouth and the causes of dry mouth. Cause I know a lot of these guys, older men in their 40s, 50s, 60s, they have a lot of dry mouth. And part of that could be, and the other thing I want to ask you about too is alkaline water. I know that this is something a little bit different, but maybe we can just quickly touch on the alkaline water and dry mouth because a lot of guys have dry mouth. I always say, listen, it's most likely because you're not drinking enough water.
Yeah.
And they say, oh yeah, I drink a ton of water. It's like you have to drink it. You have to drink at least a gallon a day when you're in my program, Over 40 Alpha Brotherhood program. It's usually a gallon to start a day. Right. And when people find out how much a gallon really is, it's like, okay, well, I thought I was drinking, and then does coffee count?
I know coffee. I was going to say coffee doesn't count.
No, none of this stuff counts. It's water. But what about alkaline water? This is a new thing. A couple of guys have asked me about this. I'm always just drink water. But what are your thoughts on alkaline water in the goal of helping to get your oral microbiome alkalinic?
I never really bought into the alkaline water myself. If you want to swish your mouth with it, that's great. I think it has a place for swishing your mouth. As far as your gut goes, and this is just me being a nurse, in my education as a nurse, your gut is supposed to be acidic. It's acidic because it's breaking down food. I still don't understand why you would want to alkalize that. I don't really think the impact of alkaline water is reaching your internal blood vessel system because you're introducing it into a system that's acidic by nature. And when you introduce an acid and a base, or it's an acid and a base, an alkaline and acid, it kind of at some point it neutralizes it a little bit out. So for me, I don't like alkaline water in the gut because I feel like it's going to cause more problems down the road because, your gut is acidic by nature. That's really that's how we were made. That's the ecosystem it needs to be. I don't believe that alkaline water is the answer, but if you want to swish with it, it's good for your mouth.
Yeah, no, I agree 100% with you too. The alkaline water definitely, specifically when the gut needs to be acidic and your mouth needs to be alkaline, that just makes no sense.
I think that, if you want alkalinity in the body, that's where you have to eat your vegetables.
Yes,
like that's
totally.
where, and drink, the juices. People do a juice detox or a juice cleanse and stuff like that. That's where I think you're going to get more impact from alkalinity is when you're doing it through those sources, not through the water.
No, people, but these guys want shortcuts and like, this is so, the other thing too is I actually this is another side note. I brush my teeth in the shower. Will I still be able to do that with this that you're sending me?
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
I just put the powder on the toothbrush and
and honestly, all it is, let me see if I have a little bit here for anybody that's watching or anybody that's like, I want to see, you can go to the video. So this is a larger one. This is our 1 ounce tooth powder that we sell. It's hard to tell. Let me get it more.
Yeah, that's good. That's cool.
And then, so let me take this off. I'll show you guys. It's super easy to use. Powder is super concentrated. So we're used to having that big gob of toothpaste. So all you do is wet your toothbrush down. I always just shake off the excess water. And then I dip the toothbrush in the tooth powder and then I just tap it. So literally, that's all you need. I think, let me get it up there. That's all you need. It's like a dusting of tooth powder. That's it. And this toothbrush wasn't even wet. So you honestly don't even need to wet your toothbrush. And by the way, for the people that freak out because they're like, oh my gosh, what about double dipping? And, I'm going to get bugs and blah. Nothing grows in clay. Clay is antimicrobial. So nothing grows in clay. I've been dipping. And in fact, I tell people if you really don't want to dip, you can just take a little scoop and put some on your toothbrush. But over time, people are like, oh my gosh, you're right. Nothing grows in clay. It's fine. Just dip. I'm just dipping. It's just easier. So, but yeah, it's easy to use. So then you would just use that and start brushing. That's it. That's all.
Okay. And should my wife have her own and I should have my own?
Tooth powder.
Yeah.
It's up to you. I mean, we share, family share. It's up to you. Own kit to start. Yes. But, it just depends on, if you feel like you need to have your own. We do sell bigger packs too. We sell a refill. So you can fill your own jars, or you can buy this size and then get the refill for each, it's just more economical. The bigger size, especially for families and things like that, for refills.
Awesome. Okay. Let's finish off with light therapy, and let's finish off with that. And then I will need to have you back on, because I do.
Yeah. And we'll touch on the light therapy and maybe go deeper into light therapy the next time. But let's just mention it. Yeah. Because it's so important. So, teeth whitening, I'll just touch on this. Teeth whitening is something that I know everybody wants. Everybody wants to have a white smile. The problem with most of the products on the market is they're made with peroxide. And, we already know that peroxide destroys our good microbiome. It's also going to, wear away at your gum tissue. But peroxide, actually, the way that peroxide works, here's my tooth. So the tooth part, the top part is the enamel. Underneath the enamel is a layer that's called the dentin, and the dentin is off color. So it's either like a yellowish, a grayish, or a bluish color for most people. As we get older, our enamel starts to get thinner and thinner, which is why we end up with more sensitive teeth. We end up with cavities and things like that. The thinner it gets, the more that you start to see the dentin layer beneath. So if you've ever looked at your teeth in the mirror and thought, gosh, my enamel looks translucent, it's probably because your enamel is super thin. And what happens, peroxide works. So this part, the dentin, is fluid filled. And how it's got a little bit of fluid. It's got some minerals in it. It's got antimicrobial things so that bacteria doesn't get in there, and fungus and virus and stuff like that. So what happens with peroxide is peroxide dehydrates that. It pulls the fluid out of the dentin layer. Ultimately, the less fluid, the more clear or opaque your tooth looks, the whiter it looks.
Right.
Ultimately, what it's doing is weakening the infrastructure of your tooth. If you just remove the fluid from this layer, now you've got your nerves and your pulp, which is your blood vessels in your nerves. This is why peroxide hurts. Once it gets into the dentin, it starts to irritate the nerves. This is also how fluoride can enter the body, is once it gets in the tooth and it gets in the dentin layer, your blood vessels are in here. But anyway, that's how peroxide works. It actually weakens the infrastructure of your tooth. So a lot of people, after they whiten their teeth, will end up with a broken tooth or a chipped tooth or a cavity or something like that. And I didn't want to do it that way. I wanted to be able to actually rebuild your enamel. If I can get your enamel thicker and harder, your teeth will be ultimately white on their own, because your enamel is the white part of your tooth. So that's how my dental products work. I have, I created the whitening gel is made very similar to my other dental products. It's an oil base, and it's got the clay. It's got nanohydroxyapatite in it to remineralize your teeth. So while the gel is sitting on your teeth and you're using the teeth whitening device, which is blue light, it's got red light, and then it does both blue and red light. And we should be sending you one of these. You should get this as well.
Okay, wow, I'm excited.
Yeah. So you can take a picture.
Yeah.
So when you're using it with this, then the minerals are right there. It's alkaline. It's going to help remineralize your teeth, reestablish a healthy layer of enamel, and over time rebuild your enamel so that your teeth are thicker. You're going to have less cavities, less sensitivities. Your dental checkups are going to be amazing. But the light therapy is phenomenal. So red light therapy, I'm assuming you've probably done red light therapy. You've talked about it. No, you guys haven't? Oh, wow. No. So red light therapy has been used it's been used for years. And now it's like a beauty thing for men and women. It increases collagen production. So it's going to help you look younger. It reduces inflammation and increases blood flow. So people are using red light everywhere. We've used it in the medical field for, on diabetics for wound care and, post-surgical and stuff like that for healing. But red light therapy inside the mouth. So this, you choose either red, blue, or a combination. Most people do both at the same time. Red light therapy is going to increase blood flow, reduce inflammation, and speed healing and collagen production in the gum tissue. So it doesn't matter whether you have gum health issues or not. It's always good to prevent it. So the red light therapy is incredible. In fact, I've had some biological dentists that have patients that have used this, and they're always amazed and say that their patients that use this come in and their gums are so much better than they were the last checkup. So it does work. The blue light is really cool because Harvard did a study a couple years ago and found that the bacteria that causes cavities and gum disease has this little black portion to it. This little black portion, when exposed to blue light, explodes. And I always think of it as like the heart of the bacteria. When that explodes, the bacteria dies. So I always think about putting this in my mouth and all this bacteria just like popcorn popping and exploding. Right. But blue light, so the bacteria then, think about light therapy as something that's not just hitting the surface, but can penetrate into the tissues, penetrate between your teeth a little bit, penetrate possibly into the pockets of the gum tissue, affecting the bacteria there. And it doesn't affect the healthy bacteria because the healthy bacteria doesn't have that portion in it, doesn't have that little black thing in it that will explode. Right. So it's going to leave all of your healthy bacteria in place while removing all of the harmful bacteria, which is kind of amazing. So by using the light therapy, and by the way, the bacteria that causes cavities and gum disease is plaque. It creates that plaque, and the bacteria itself is yellow in color. So by getting rid of the bacteria, you're also going to be whitening the effects of the teeth. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
What's the white? You said white light. You said red, blue, and white. Did you say
no, both. Red, blue, and both.
Okay,
so it does red, blue, and both. And my battery's starting to die on this one. So you can, yeah.
So how does that, like, when would I use that? How long would I use it for? I know it comes with instructions, but
it comes in a full kit. Let me see if I can pull the kit up so anybody watching can see. So it comes in a kit. So you get 20 treatments. Oh. And they come in little pods. If anybody can see, these little pods are the whitening gels. And so each gel has at least 2 treatments in it. So you get 20 treatments. We recommend 5 treatments a week for a full month for 4 weeks. And so this is a 1 month supply. After 1 month, if you're feeling confident and good about where your teeth are, your gums are, I tell people drop down to 2 or 3 times a week for a couple of weeks, see how it goes. And then you can drop down to once a week once you're very happy. It's not something you're going to put away. It's a therapy that you're just going to, I tell people, do it when you're doing something, add it to another activity. Don't make it another task. So for instance, do it when you're, some people do it in their commute. Some people will do it when they're checking their emails. A lot of people will do it when they're watching TV. A lot of women do it when they're making dinner, because when that device is in your mouth, you can't be snacking on what you're making while you're making dinner. So a lot of people will do it when they're making dinner or something like that. So yeah, just attach it to another activity. And, really once you get to once a week, it's easy. It's super easy. And then it's just, a habit. It becomes a habit.
That's incredible. So I have another question.
I'll get you the link for that too. Everyone can save 60. We'll give it to you for 60% off. So make sure you click through the links that Funk has. And then just so everybody knows that if you want to get either of the dental detox kit or the LED, the teeth whitening system, you only need to check out through one of the, because you'll get the opportunity to buy the other one in both situations. So if you're going to go look at the detox kit, you'll get the offer to purchase the LED there as well. So you don't have to go through 2 checkouts.
That's amazing. And that's incredible. And, like always, guys, I'm gonna test out. I do this a lot. I'll get these products, I'll use them, and then people will ask, "Hey, how does it work? How does it work?" It worked before with the bioprotein. It's working, and I have a huge feeling. I'm excited about this because my enamel is horrible. Every time I go to the dentist, they're like, "Hey, man, you literally have, your enamel's almost going to be gone, and then you're never going to be able to rebuild it, or it's never going to come back, or it's never going to get strong." But according to you, there is a chance.
There's hope.
There's hope. And that's all I need. I just need a little bit of hope. Trina, I want to thank you so much for being on this podcast. This has been absolutely incredible. The information has been extremely helpful. I hope everybody grabs that kit. I hope everybody stops using, I can say this because of my podcast, Crest, Colgate, all that other crap out there. That's, they got a lot of money to market to us, and they're doing a good job. But we got to stop. Like today, if you're listening to this right now, today's the day to stop. And actually today is to order Trina's kit, and then you're gonna stop because you're still gonna need that toothpaste. But or go to an organic place and look for
or baking soda. Just grab some baking soda in the meantime.
Okay.
It's not you.
I remember that.
Yeah, you can't use baking soda every single day. People want to. It has no minerals in it, but for a pinch for a couple of days, it's going to actually do better than those other things. Right.
So again, if you're going to go out, you're looking for toothpaste with minerals, minerals, baking soda, and
clay.
Detox. Clay.
Detox.
That's clay. Okay. Perfect. So thank you so much. It's great. I'm going to have you on again. We got so much more to talk about. I'm sure other questions will come up. Thank you so much, Trina. Any last words? How can people find you? We talked about links, but how can people find you on a daily basis?
Yeah, no, you find me at primallifeorganics.com is our website, but on Instagram, we're primallife.org, as well as Facebook, we're Primal Life Organics. We're on TikTok and, Pinterest. You can find me as well. I do a lot of other education as well. In addition to Primal Life, Trina Felber on Instagram and Facebook. Trina Felber, just my name.
Trina Felber. Okay, Awesome. Thank you so much, Trina.
Thanks, Funk.
We'll see you in the next episode.
Awesome.